Have you heard that infinite banking is a scam? I mean, who hasn't? You've gone down far enough this rabbit hole. It's hard to find good information on this concept. And so by the end of this video, you can decide for yourself if it is or not. All right, so first and foremost, is it a scam? If you're using most life insurance agents, it is, okay? I know this from firsthand experience. When I was a financial advisor 20 years ago, I remember learning about insurances and things like that. And I remember hearing about whole life insurance and I thought, oh, come on, this thing is a piece of crap, pays you nothing. You should do other investments. You should buy term, invest the difference, or buy these other more complex, like index universal life or variable universal life type products. I would sell people that. But then when I realized that financial advisors aren't financially free either, and I quit that business, I started looking for people that were real estate investors. And all of a sudden they start talking about this infinite banking concept. I'm like, I've never heard of this. I've been a financial advisor for years and never heard of this term. They said, you gotta check it out. So they connected me with a guy who was an agent, and of course, because everybody said it was a good idea, I bought it. And I remember seeing this policy. I was putting in $12,000 a year. And I remember saying like, wow, there's no money in this until the third year. And he says, oh, that's fine. Like that's the best way to do it. You just gotta be patient. Wait 5 or 10 years, then you can use it to buy cars and houses and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And I even asked him, I said, is there a way to speed this up to have more cash up front? He said, nope, you can't do it. You'll trigger taxes. Well, the recession hit me hard. I didn't have enough money to keep paying $12,000 a year. I'd already paid $25,000 into it up to that point. I couldn't pay any more premiums. I lost it, all of it. $25,000 down the tube, it's gone, flushed down the hole, right? And I thought, well, that's just what it is. Well, you can imagine my shock and my surprise when I found out later that year, he could have designed it better where there was cash from day one, but he didn't. And I actually I sat down with him, I ran numbers because I was a life insurance agent too. I was still licensed. I started running numbers, showed him, and I proved to him. I said, listen, if I do it this way, it's better. And finally, after 2 hours of debating, he finally just told me, Chris, I did it that way because I cannot afford to cut my commissions that much. And I was like, that is the wrong answer. Price is wrong, Bob. That's wrong. No, that's crap. So I never sent him a referral again. Eventually, this guy actually ended up quitting the business. He ended up pretty much going under, right? He ended up going bankrupt almost. So he quit the business and that's it. So that's the truth, is that if you use most insurance agents, they are gonna do something that's way high fee, takes up all your money, and it's not worth it. And they'll tell you it's a long-term thing, it's a supplemental retirement income, yada, yada. Don't buy into that crap. So that part of it, yes, is a scam. Now, why is it so hard to find good information or find these good policies? Because there's too many different ideas, even when it comes to infinite banking, and too many different perspectives. You got the people that's like the guy that sold me the policy saying, well, it's down the road and you buy cars and houses with it. Well, later on I found out for the most part, that's crap. You don't want to buy cars and houses with it. I'd rather get bank money for that and use my money to invest and do other things. And then there's other guys that say, oh, you just use it for retirement. You don't use it at all. You don't even use it for houses or cars. You just use it to live on tax-free income. Okay, we could do that too. And then there's other perspectives, right? There's other ones that say, oh, well, you can invest with it, but you know what? You want to have this 60-40 split because that's the perfect split. Well, why do I want to pay 40% or almost double the fees more than if I did it this way? Or, hey, you should do this 90-10 split. There's all these different advice out there. Of course you're going to be confused, right? It makes it really hard to understand what's true, what's not, and what's the best. So I'm here to tell you, infinite banking is legit and it's been around for hundreds of years. Even the government likes it. In fact, they've been supporting it forever. They even support the tax laws, that it's tax-free growth and comes out tax-free. They've supported that, even though people have occasionally wanted to try to get it taxed because there's a lot of money in these plans, especially those that are politicians. But of course, because politicians put their money in this too, they don't want to vote getting it taxed because they like to keep their money tax-free as well. So there's a lot of time that this has been around. Whole life actually has been around longer than any other life insurance, including term insurance. Did you know that term insurance only really showed up in about the 1970s? That's a relatively new concept. Whole life has been around for a long, long time. And in fact, did you know that JCPenney's, although they're suffering now, they suffered during the Great Depression too. Did you know that JCPenney's used their policy like infinite banking where they paid their payroll to their employees to keep the company going? Yeah, they couldn't afford to pay their payroll, so they borrowed from their policies to pay the payroll. Did you know that big companies like General Electric actually bought policies on their employees? They bought these policies and then used them to help fund the pension plans. So when those people retired, they had money in these pensions that they could use, and then when the people died, the death benefit replenished the pension fund again. It was great, right? So many companies have done this. Walmart did this, although They got bad PR for it because sadly, a lot of the employees didn't buy life insurance on themselves, but Walmart did, and it paid Walmart, not their family. So families got mad. Walmart doesn't try to do that anymore unless it's like a key executive, key role. But banks have been doing it. Did you know that banks store sometimes over 25% of their cash reserves inside life insurance policies? If it really is a scam, why do they do it? And I remember there's Dave Ramsey, he did an interview once with a guy, with an insurance agent saying, it's a scam. And the guy's saying, well, why do all these Fortune 500 companies buy it for themselves? He's like, because idiots like you sold it to them. Now, I'm amazed that Dave Ramsey, bless his Tennessee heart, is smarter than the entire corporate America population, as well as many of the companies that are bigger than him. Wow, weird. And somehow insurance agents can just, somehow deceive these people. No, he's full of crap, okay? He's the one of the people that's trying to get that perspective out there. And that's why it's so hard to understand, okay? So yes, it's been around forever. It's legit, it's legal. Everybody's been using it. Government supports it. And heck, it's a contract. So if they change the tax laws later, your contract is locked in when the tax rules were that way. You can't even get a 401k or a Roth IRA that does that. If the rules change, you have to change with those rules. But because it's the life insurance contract, you get the tax rules at the time you bought that policy. Now, here are some to-dos to know whether you've got a good infinite banking policy or if you're looking at a good one. First, avoid the high fee policies. Just like I said, don't buy the policies that take up all your cash in those first 2 years. I like the policies the way we design ours with the max ROI infinite banking strategy. We like to design them where usually only about 20% comes out in year 1 and even less than that in year 2. So it's not too uncommon for people to have at least 80, 85+% of their money in the first 2 years, not 0%. And by the way, by the 3rd year, it's paying for itself. So essentially, it's like a supercharged tax-free savings account by that point. It's growing by more than the money that's coming out in fees. It's paying for itself. You can't even get term insurance to pay for itself, right? So avoid those high fee policies. Key bonus here, avoid the 90-10 policies too. They are high fee, just not in the first year, but they spread out the fees longer. So many times, even though we can offer those 90% policies where you have 90% of your money in year 1, which is more than like 80% in year 1 or 75%, don't go for those policies because they cost you much more money after a few years. So that's another bonus for you. Number 2, also, do not use this as only a long-term vehicle. Do not make this only your supplemental retirement income. Yes, of course it can do that. That's great. But the real power in this policy, if you want to do better than buying term and investing the difference, if you want to really make a lot of money with this, is use it now. You can actually build up that cash sooner, like we talk about, that max ROI infinite banking version. You build up more cash now, and then you're able to leverage that cash. You can use it for anything. You can use it to invest in your business, to make more money in your business and generate more money there. So it's not just locked away from you. That's the thing. Insurance agents are always trying to do this tug of war with you. They're trying to take your money away from you that you know you can make good money with. If you're a business owner or investor, you want to make more money with your money. Taking that money out of your reach is a big opportunity cost. It costs you money. But you understand that if you have more money in there and you can pull it out short term even, use that money to work for you, whether it's going to buy real estate, whether it's going into your business, guess what? You can get your money to pay you twice. It grows inside your policy, but then you get a line of credit against it for the bank or from the insurance company to use to invest in your business, in your real estate. You can blow it at Disneyland. You can do whatever you want with it. Ideally though, you make good money with it so that you make returns in 2 places at the same time. It's awesome. In fact, I showed an example where someone bought an apartment, put $250,000 down, making $2,500 a month. They were able to make, instead of making $1,200 after 9 years in their savings account with the money coming in, they were able to make $129,000 extra in net returns from their policy on top of the money that they made from their apartment, from their real estate investment. Guys, it's huge. It's awesome. Not to mention, it's a great place to store your money if you just want it for emergencies. You're making more than 0.nothing%. It's awesome. Now, if you think that's great, many people will say you could buy a car using infinite banking. I said it depends. Well, watch this next video, how to buy a car with infinite banking. Check it out right now.